Hey guys, so I want to do this video real quick about being laid off. It's kind of been a really big topic, especially with COVID right now. Tons of people are just unfortunately without a job, and certain times it can be hard to find one. In my case, I've actually been laid off 2 times in my 10-year career in information technology. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, it's a big industry. It's great. It's awesome." Um, Sometimes in certain areas, you just get laid off. The company kind of makes a switch, and or they change directions, and you are just no longer part of that direction. Um, and I know that sounds really bad. It basically boils down to you are a number on a spreadsheet. Um, the reality of the situation is, for most companies, the personnel budget is usually the highest budget. It consumes roughly 2/3 of most companies' yearly budget. Um, so I kind of just want to make this video just to share part of my experience and what I've learned, and maybe it'll help someone out. If it does, definitely please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you think it would help. The biggest advice, and this is probably the hardest thing to do in any layoff situation, is stay calm. Stay as calm as you can. Don't get mad. Don't be mad at the world or anything like that. This is just, it happens. Um, and I understand that it's one of those things for some people, that a lot of stuff goes through their head. I'm starting a family. I don't have any skills. What am I going to do? You end up having like tons and tons of questions, and some people go into like the self loathing, like, oh, I hate myself because why did I lose my job? Like, what did I not do right? And just stay calm and remember this wasn't you. This wasn't necessarily anything you did. It just boils down to numbers and personnel budget. And it's going to sound weird me saying this, but it is not the end of the world. It's really important that you understand that. It is not the end of the world. You can find another job. It is hard. It is tedious. It is a pain. It is basically having a job to find a job, but you can find another one. Um, the second biggest thing that I recommend, and this is across the board, whether you're switching employers or you're laid off or you decide you're going to start a business, call all your lenders and kind of let them know what's going on. Say, hey, listen, I was laid off, or hey, I'm starting a business. And a lot of times, if you're laid off, they're willing to work with you. If you're starting a business, they'll turn around and say, "Oh, cool," and they might actually offer you a discounted rate on something or waive your payment for a month. But if you're laid off, definitely call your credit card company and say, "Hey, I was just laid off effective such and such date. I'm not going to be able to make my payment this month until I get things organized." Call your bank for your mortgage. That's a really big deal. Call them, see how they can help you, because they don't want to actually lose you. Because guess what? If they evict you from your house, no one's maintaining the house, and the value of the home goes down. The value of the community goes down. Banks don't want that. Another thing is call utility companies. So, for example, the electric company, the water company, your internet company. Call them all and say, hey, listen, here's the deal. And don't be ashamed. Again, item number one, stay calm. Don't be ashamed about any of this. It happens to the best of us. Things just happen. Cell phone company, call them too and say, hey, listen, I realize I'm in a contract, but here's the situation. Can you backload some of my payments in the end of my contract or extend my contract out? There's tons of ways you can ask, but if you don't ask, no one's gonna know, and no one's gonna try to help you. So always remember, stay calm, call your lenders, um, and then what I've got on my screen right now is a spreadsheet. I actually use this. This kind of comes from a friend of mine who mentioned the FIRE movement. Interesting concept. Basically, you save a bunch of money to retire early. Anyway, this is pulling out from that. Uh, it's my monthly budget. So what I'm doing is when I'm in my house, when I'm in my home, I itemize everything that I have. So, for example, SiriusXM, not really a home thing, but it's entertainment and I like it. Put it down. Wall Street Journal, I read the news, so I put it down. Power, big monthly expense. Put that down. Internet, cell phone, rent, just going down the list. My biggest expense is going to be rent. If I call my lender and say, hey, listen, or not my lender, excuse me, my landlord and say, hey, listen, I can't make the payment this month, usually they'll work with you. Call the city for the water and say, hey, listen, can't make this right now. Again, no shame in doing any of this. Stuff happens. Life happens sometimes. So the entire point of this spreadsheet, you add everything up to a monthly expense. And then eventually you add all those months together to come up with your yearly expense. And then from that, you divide that entire line item by 365. So that's going to give you your per day minimum that you need to absolutely survive. So once you've gone through step 1, stay calm. Step 2, contact all your lenders. You fill in the information on the spreadsheet. And we're dropping into survival mode. So essentially, part of the reason this sheet exists is, alright, I need $85, round it up to 86. I need $86 a day minimum to survive and keep this, and if I have a small business, this as well, and that. But at minimum, to continue your job search, you're going to need a roof over your head. You're probably going to need the internet, or at least a cell phone, and know how to operate the cell phone to the point where you can apply for at least 10 jobs per day. And eventually that's going to be a separate video along with these other tabs here. So skills will end up being a video, and then the applications process will be another video. So this also breaks down by hour how much you need to make. So the good news here is you now know, hey, I can make $11 an hour and survive. I can meet all my needs for the month. Still have my dogs, my best friends. Still enjoy watching some anime. Still enjoy some Amazon stuff. Have a roof over my head. So I can still keep some of my creature comforts that I'm used to, as long as I'm making that $10.73 an hour. Now, at the very bottom, there's the no job count. So this is essentially my savings over here, right? So you take your savings and you divide that by line item M1 and B24, or excuse me, M1, so your savings amount by B24 of your monthly expenses. And that's going to tell you how long you can live without a job. Of course, nobody wants to do this, but it's a good number to have. And the whole point of running all these numbers is going back to step 1, where we just stay calm. Knowing all of this information allows you to start planning. Start planning and executing. So, I've actually made a shared file for this, so I'm going to make this public and attach it in the description. So if anybody has any advice, feedback, or just maybe wants to share their experience on if this helped them or didn't help them, definitely just let me know. And yeah, I hope this helps somebody. Thanks, everyone.